Hello everyone, this is weekly insights video and we'll discuss about the last week and we'll go through each day what plays were possible and what was happening, and we'll discuss about some of the strategies and a really good concept of high volume area using the footprints. Okay, so let's start. Let's start first with the concepts and strategies. Okay, so first of all we'll discuss about inside day. Okay, so inside day is day formed inside the previous day. So this is inside day. So what we'll do, if we open outside of the inside day, we have to wait for the market to get close using the 15 minutes chart inside the inside day, and then we'll play towards the other extreme of the inside day. Okay, and second is gap close, gap fill. So if this is the previous day and this is the value area of the previous day, and if we now open outside of the previous day, we wait for the gap close, or we take one trade for the gap close, and then let the market close below the previous day range or previous day high, and then let it close below the value area high, and then we take a shot towards the value area low. Okay, and now the other concept is high volume area or activity patches on the footprints. Okay, so for example, this is your key level and the candle has closed below the level. Okay, so now if you see a high volume area generated over here, you can take a trade in this area with a passive entry towards downside. But in the second scenario, if you have got a high volume over here, you might have to wait or take a passive entry towards downside, or you might have to wait because market will keep on generating the high volume area over here before moving downside, unless this is a news move, or this is a liquidation move, means the move started here and we are just going down and down and down. Okay, so these were two main things that we'll discuss for this whole week. So first day, on Monday, we can see that this was a bank holiday, so this was highly rotational, and we'll not discuss this because this was first of all the conviction was very high for getting this as inside day. Okay, now on the second day, that was Tuesday on 14th of October, you can see the first opportunity was getting the reaction from the prominent VPOC. The reaction was good, the sellers were not strong enough, so we got a bounce. And the second main opportunity was post inside day or inside day, okay, that we discussed. So now let's jump on to 15 minutes chart, and this is inside day low, this is inside day high, and we can see that when we closed above the inside day, we would have tried a long, but we got stopped out. But there was another opportunity for the second time you would have to try, because the reward is asymmetric. This is like 40 to 50 handles move, guys. Okay, so now how we can solve this using high volume area. Now let's jump on to footprints. This was 14th. So now here you can see that the candle close inside the volume area is also pulled up but closed below the volume area, and the second candle that would have stopped us out didn't pull any volume area over here and kept the volume area at or above the inside day extreme, and the stop loss would have been here, and we went up to inside day high. Okay, now next day we opened imbalanced, so our main plan should have been gap close gap fill, okay, or gap close value area fill. Okay, so now let's see on 15 minutes chart. Let's mark this as high and let's mark this as low, or let's mark value area low, which was 66.61. Okay, so Scott Besant was speaking in the morning and the market started moving up, got a rejection from low volume area, and we start going down. Now here the market closed inside the previous day high. So what was the real concept of gap close gap fill? Gap gets closed and then we close below the value area and value area high, and then we take a shot towards the value area low. Okay, so what really happened over here? We closed below the previous day high, and then we spent a good amount of time just because of one concept, which was high volume area. Okay, and then we finally moved down. So what is the really use of high volume area? That we'll see in the footprint what happened on this day. The thing is, if you are in a trade towards the downside, the expectation should be that it will take time and you will have to be patient. Okay, so now let's see on footprints. Okay, so this candle closed below the previous day high. Okay, and we see that some of the high volume area is over here, some of it is here, and some of it is here. So it will generate some of the volume over here before moving down. Okay, so you can see it started grinding over here and it gave us opportunity for passive entry over here also. Okay, and when we finally made confirmation that most of the, except for this patch, most of the high volume area is below the previous day high, we start moving down. And there was one more thing to notice. See the VPOC. The VPOC is at 1450. Okay, the VPOC is at 1450. So now see guys, as soon as we got close below the VPOC, along with pulling the high volume area below that or at, we went down for liquidation. Okay, and we filled whole of the value area. Okay, and this was the main play. So you can see what was the reward. If you are even getting over here, I would have gotten inside here. The reward was 67.20s to 66 60s. Okay, it was really good reward. Now let's move to the next day. So we have discussed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, now Thursday. Now you can see the shape of the profile. Okay, it's like this. Okay, I call this as a bikini profile. Means the VPOC will be important in on this day VPOC reaction. What reaction do we get? Okay, so what market did, you can see the market spent a whole lot of time to fill this area, and when it broke, it maintained the single prints over here, and it went all the way down to low volume area over here. Okay, now let's see it on 15 minutes. Where was that? We parked 67 15 75. 60 15 75, and it was 16th of October. Next day. Okay, and this was previous day low. Okay, so we open inside the range, and as soon as we closed below that VPOC, you can see the real action. Okay, now let's see the footprints. Okay, 16th, 1575. Okay, so as you can see, first of all, this was initial balance break. Second, it was a VPOC break. So we can see that it closed below the initial balance low, and it pulled high volume area or created some activity patches over here. Okay, below the VPOC, below the IB low, and you can without any stress take an entry over here, but by keeping the stop loss over here. Okay, so you will have to manage the risk along with the position sizing. Okay, and we went instantly down. See, we are taking the high volume area along with it. Okay, and it went down to the previous day low. Okay, so this was the main play for this day. Now let's see next day. Next day, we can see that the overnight went downside too much. It was too much stress, and it came inside before the open. If we would have opened imbalanced, either it would have been a gap close, gap fill day, or break of the low of extreme range day. Okay, but as we opened inside, now we'll have to see that overnight has already done the maximum job. Okay, so the initial part of the day, or you can say the first hour, would have been so much rotational. Okay, and on this day we should have waited for the market to generate more and more information in order to take any setup. So now let's see what happened. So as we can see here, we have got a low volume area. Okay, so our main play would have been accessing this, means to either to get before reaching here towards this area, or to take a trade after this area has been accessed. Okay, so now let's see what happened on 15 minutes. Okay, so we open inside of previous day low, and this was our 1 2 3 4 IB high, and this was our IB low. Okay, so in the late day we did IB break, and we access low volume area, and then we closed outside the low volume area or got rejection, and we went down here, which was single prints area. Okay, so as you can see, the whole day was rotational, and real action came when we did the IB break. Okay, now let's see on footprints. So this was IBI, and as you can see that when it did the break, it pulled whole lot of high volume area over here, and then we should have placed our stop loss over here, and we should have accessed the low volume area, and then we got a rejection. If even if you are taking a short, it should have been just this area. So on a whole, this play was having very less reward, so you could have taken no trade on this day. Okay, or you could even close your screens before even opening, because you already know that the day would be too much rotational. Or if you are good at scalping in two-way trading environment, it's a hell lot of a paradise for scalpers. So that's the wrap of the session. Hope you liked it and learned something.